Squatch, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, a Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry Wolfman or Wolf County, need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This year's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, which, if you've solved all of my sinister puzzles, you fools would have already realized was always an anagram for to rework by crab.
My God. I'm Sean Baby. I was on top of Fish, and although he threw himself into a frenzy of movement with everything he had, I wasn't budging. My legs scissor-locked in a stranglehold around his torso, pinning his arms to his sides and making the push dagger he'd drawn in our struggle useless, except to scratch futilely at the ground. He got only one chance to jerk his head to the side in an aborted protest before I had his neck in my hands. I could feel his pulse beating wildly beneath my thumbs. I couldn't right the wrongs of the world, even though I once idealistically believed I could do so as long as I was fit and trained and willing. But I could take care of Fish. I thought of the dead boys under the bridge. It was time to bring his career and my mission to a close. The next morning, even though I doubted he'd ever receive it, I sent Casey a message. Fish caught and cleaned. Ready to serve.
And I am New York Times bestselling author Jason Pargin.
That one started real erotic. You got scissoring, jerking, mounting.
The guy was named Fish?
Fish?
His name was Fish, and Frank Dukes murdered him with his bare hands on the streets of Russia.
Yeah.
If any DAs want to read The Secret Man by Frank Dukes, there's a lot of those in there.
I was going to say, like, you can't, if you can't say this is totally true, I killed all of these people, people will investigate that, and either, hopefully it's a lie, or you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Shit, I love that guy. All right. Well, as I said, for some reason, we're not just doing a podcast on that book, or we are, but it's really in small pieces, and you'll have to reassemble them in the correct order to determine the pod. No, we're a Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. Mountain Monsters used to be a hillbilly X-Files cryptid hunting show. Now it's all psychological warfare, baby, from here on out.
Or a clip show escape room, depending on how you want to look at it.
Depending on how you look at it.
Did we skip the plugs?
Oh, we got it too excited. Let me do the cast and we'll go into plugs. Our cast is Buck. He's the former rookie caller, Husky Ninja new leader. Huckleberry is Bigfoot security, which he is taking really seriously, more seriously by the episode. He gets another gun strapped to him every single episode until he's just going to be on the ground, unable to move. Jeff is our hillbilly research scientist turned Bigfoot glory hole servicer, I believe was what we established. Willie is our trapper. Wild Bill is our tracker. Never done any of that. And once again, special guest star Trapper. We're watching Mountain Monsters Season 2, Episode 19. According to the HBO Max order, it's called Ames versus the Rogue Team. But before we get into that, let's do our plugs. Jason.
Well, yeah, if I seem a little bit distracted today and a little bit tired, it's because this is a huge day. Today is pub day. It's publication day for the new book. I'm starting to worry about this black box of doom that is a surprise release. We've not mentioned it before today. We just dropped it the way Beyonce will just suddenly have an album out. The huge response so far. There's a tradition among my readers where on Amazon you can post like a photo, like where people can post photos of like the product to show what it really looks like in the review. And with my books, it's just nudes. It's just very fit nude men in every review. They don't post any text. It's just nothing but that. So I guess that means they liked it. I actually never know what that means.
Yeah, you can go on there right now. There's like 6,000 reviews. It's incredible for a 1-day response.
It's
my God.
Yeah, it's really good.
Just an army of dongs and books. It's beautiful.
Yeah, because none of them have had time to read it. They make it very clear. No,
It's not about that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's just like it's like a banana. It's really just perfect for scale. Like, Sean, what would you like to plug today?
I wasn't listening to all that, but I want to plug the nude hunks Jason was talking about. Nude hunks. I'm starting to worry about this Black Box of Doom featuring nude hunks. It's a story about how information and perspectives change with the moral certainty of nude hunks.
Speaking of nude hunks, we did just have Hunk Week to celebrate a milestone on our site. 1-900 Hot Dog. You can support us and support this podcast, support our other podcasts, find bonus podcasts, hundreds of bonus podcasts, find our store, everything on either 1900hotdog.com or on patreon.com/1900hotdog if you want to throw us a few bucks in exchange for all of the wonderful nude hunks we have brought you and will continue to bring you in the future until we die.
Hunk Week was free, though. You don't even have to give us money. Just go read Hunk Week.
It's for the love of hunks, everybody. Just for the love of loose meat out there. So with that, let's get into the episode.
Well, this is so important because today we're going to find out if you have a reality show that is entirely about hunting Bigfoot. What happens if you just take the Bigfoot out of it? Does the show Mountain Monsters actually need the mountains or the monsters? Like, what if it was just this gang of guys trying to improvise drama out of some props? What if it was never really about the monsters, right? Wasn't it about the pleasure of watching these capable men solve puzzles?
Right. It's just a diabetes support group playing board games. That's the show.
So it sounds sarcastic, but I would argue, fuck yeah, this rules. This is way better. Get that Bigfoot the fuck out of here. That has only been burning time.
Such a funny episode.
We should not have been burning time on Bigfoot that whole time when the real stars were here all along. So this is a two-parter. This is part 2 of the two-parter. So just real quick, last time Ames team set out to hunt the Grassman, who was going to imminently kill somebody in the area. They gave up on that. They went out to hunt the Cherokee Devil. He was also still there, still loose, still furious, more furious than ever, and at least had one child bride doomed to his side forever that they specifically once again did not save. She had to watch them leave once again without saving her at all.
They finally come back and puke 8 different ways.
She's just sitting there. They finally come back having learned the secret word that will free me. No, they're leaving again. Okay. Still here getting married to Bigfoot every single night. All right. Because there's a rogue team. There's a rogue team of Bigfoot hunters who are stalking them, who know everything about them, and who left a Jack Shack lined with their personal information, which is the worst thing you can leave in a Jack Shack. It's your full legal name on the wall. Don't ever do that. So now that was the cliffhanger we landed on, was the Jack Shack with all of their information on it. And now we're coming back to them reeling from this team having all of their information on them. So no truck briefing this time, no monster to look up. It's if anything, it's Buck's Indian child bride Jack Shack briefing. He's going to remind us, they were about to walk into this rogue team trap, and this is all delivered outside the shack, presumably live, while the rogue team sits in the bushes going, go in.
Yeah, go in the fucking...
Go in. Go in. Go in the Jack Shack. Okay. So once again, they know all of their legal names, which it's on IMDb. It's in the cast credits, but we're trying to do a thing where we're like, I guess the show no longer exists. The show no longer exists within the fiction of the Mountain Monsters universe. As Jason pointed out last time, it does. They've had witnesses say, hey, I've seen your show, and it sucks. Specifically, they have said that to their faces.
A lot of the decorations in Trapper's Bigfoot Cave were taken from the show. They took a lot of clips from the show. They called the producer from the show over. I don't know.
This is going to get into real experimental territory because, again, Colt Straub, producer, is still a character in the show.
What is he producing?
I assume that the sound man, who was the sound man that got kidnapped?
Pablo.
Was it Pablo? I assume the sound man Pablo is still a member of the show and is going to turn up again. So they've still got a camera crew with them, but they're going to act like they're going to immediately start acting like they're not there. Like, no, you're just seeing like you're in on a conversation that nobody else can hear.
They're Japanese puppeteers, but sometimes they'll come over and shake hands with the puppeteer, and the puppeteer wave to the crowd and say, "Hi, everybody. My name's Pablo. It's a real pleasure to be here. I love puppeteering."
Not just that; it's a key plot point.
Yes,
in the show, the crew. It's a key plot point that they're filming a TV show. It's going to just, as this episode progresses and as they try to improvise their way through this, it's going to get weird because maybe everybody understands this. This show accidentally discovered a new art form that I've not seen anywhere before, where you get a group of people with no improv experience and you give them an incredibly difficult improv task where they have very little to work with, very little budget, a lot of time to fill, and they don't know how to play off of each other. And they just keep having to push the lore in weirder and weirder directions. And also nothing is cut. It's legitimately fascinating watching them try to navigate this.
I would have
talented people would struggle to get something good out of this.
Instant stress breakdown if you told me the rules that they have to operate under. Like, I would flee. Never. I would never do that. They're so brave for agreeing to do this without ever reconsidering, even for a second.
For example, in this, they have to play the scene like they're shocked by the information that these guys have on them. Because if those of you who have not seen the episode, they have envelopes taped to the wall, and there's 6 envelopes with their full, like, government names on them. So, like, Huckleberry's like, the only person who's ever called me by that name is my mother. It's like the IRS doesn't call you by that name? And they have to keep upping the stakes of this and trying to improvise like why it's weird that they have this, that they didn't just print it off IMDb or Wikipedia or whatever. And then Buck actually says to camera, I would never have thought that just looking at an envelope with my name on it could be so terrifying. It's like, yeah, you're right, Buck. That's nothing. You're correct.
So Buck opens his, and he finds pictures of himself inside, most of which are production stills from the show. That have been on the show. You can identify the
They're
moments.
going to do that over and over. They're going to have screens that's just a still from the show, and they're going to say over and over, how did they get that? How did they get that shot? It was just us out there. It's like, so this is not, are you shooting a different show? Like in the universe of Mountain Monsters, are you shooting a different show than Mountain Monsters? Do you see what I'm saying?
I love the things it does to the meta narrative as you try to figure out how they accidentally fuck this up. What does the reality then look like? Because
there's a fuck up here that I want to talk about because he pulls out his it's one that was maybe more subtle, but maybe when you hear it, you'll say, "Oh, of course." But like, he talks about a police report where he almost killed his girlfriend in an accident, and I'm not even sure what the mystery could be because like, how did they get those? I'm like, well, they broke into the police station because, But then Buck tells Jeff, "I don't know who took these pictures. There was never an official report done." So there's no mystery anymore. The rogue team has been following Buck for years, and they took pictures of his car after he wrecked it. Like, that's all it can be, and that's fucking stupid and crazy. if you're like, God, do they work for the police? And now it's, oh, you've clearly, they're magic. You've made them too magic. Like Jeff's envelope is a list of all his guns and serial numbers and his computer passwords, which is fine. That adds up because he's the kind of nerd who would absolutely register every last gun and fall for every password phishing scheme. But then Huckleberry does the same thing I was just complaining about, where he says, this stuff was all sealed when I was in the military. There's clearance in here that nobody's supposed to know about. So he ruins the mystery too, because the story goes from him having a secret Black Ops past they know about to him being a dumb idiot who doesn't know how to use clearance in a sentence. And so they fucked it up. I don't know. Frustrating
because
for me.
they don't know how to. For example, the first thing Buck says is, well, this picture's taken at my farm. My farm is completely off the grid. Nobody knows where it is.
Nobody knows where it is. That's not what
Did you
off
get
the
mail
grid
there, buddy?
means.
Did you
You
drive
have
there
a
in the
secret-
truck they low-jacked?
You have a secret farm?
Like you're growing pot, right? That's what that means.
Yeah, you're my farm, my food lab, where I grow my.
My mole people.
But Sean's right. He talks about this accident report next, where he's like, "Oh, look at the blood on the seat. Look at where both of our heads smashed through the windshields. Like, you don't walk that off. You get an ambulance or whatever." And he even says, "Like, this is for a police report." And then Jeff's is like, "Oh man, who took those pictures?" And Buck's like, "I don't know who took those pictures." And then you can see him in real time realize, I just said it was a police report. So he goes, there was no official report.
Yeah.
Which implies the existence of a casual police report.
Secret police.
We're just
Also-
like, something happened here.
He had a photo of a car accident aftermath because he's like, well, here's where both of our heads went through the windshield, and the windshield's been shattered in two places by two skulls. Was this from a real accident that Jacob Buck Lowe had in real life that he used in the show? He and his girlfriend almost died in? Or did they find a photo off the internet of a car accident and use that as a prop? I would love to know.
Yeah, there's an official report done on whatever that accident is. Like, it's bad enough somebody recorded that. But then just, no, there's no official report. They got all of Jeff's passwords, which are all... He's a 1Password guy. You know it. You know, he's holding on.
PP123.
Yeah, he's got PP123 on there.
With a question mark if they make him put one.
Only special
No, exclamation
character
point.
numbers. Wow. Huckleberry says they have his sealed clearance, which no one should have. So now he's a Black Ops team leader.
Yes, he's getting into like Frank Duke's territory. It's like
so
all
good.
these
Yeah.
records were sealed. Nobody has access to this.
Too
the stuff
dangerous.
I did in the military.
What I've done, the world leaders I've assassinated
The county fairs.
with my trademark weapon, an assault shotgun. I've just blown them into fucking pieces. I got JFK from the grassy knoll with my fucking assault shotgun. They only showed you the first round, but the rest of them just tore that man into meat.
I think Buck was feeling the same thing we were feeling, and how, like, I think he's just fatigued from, like, the nonsense going in too many directions. Used up all his acting juice, so he's like, okay, they know everything, whatever. He's just like, all right, what's the next thing? We did it.
So Jeff finds the next thing. He finds a bullseye card with the number 7 on it. And Buck and Huckleberry each have one with different numbers on them, too. So fucking...
Here's where I gasped, because I thought that the guys know the day the Ravenmocker told Jeff he was going to die. When he pulled out the bullseye with the 7, it's like, holy shit! And for like 2 seconds, I thought this was the greatest show ever written.
You thought like, that's the day? That's the day?
Yeah.
What
And
if it
then
was
Buck
that
ruined
day?
it by saying, oh, I got one too. I'm like, God damn it. Oh man. Can you imagine if he's like, this is January 7th? And they're like, what does that mean? And then Jeff gets real quiet. Pees his pants, of course.
Just dies on the spot like, oh, I knew it was today. Just drops dead. Perfect show. So they have all of their elements to like a first grade Bigfoot puzzle. It's so good. It's so good. They take all of their packets and they head back to West Virginia. Once again, still leaving several Bigfoot absolutely mauling the entire territory around them.
And Buck saying, right now we're like a dog on a leash. I don't like that
I
feeling.
don't like it.
Because he's been in that position.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like it.
He's tried some stuff. Kink isn't for everybody.
I mean, new guy. Everybody knows what the new guy has to go through on that team. He was the rookie for so long. So the next day, there's a team meeting. They're back at Trapper's top secret Bigfoot bunker, which I'm not exaggerating. Listen to the first episode if you haven't listened to it already. It's incredible set work. This should be like a new segment for the rest of the show. We just come back to Trapper's Bigfoot cave and find
anyone out there who doesn't normally watch the episodes. Watch it just until they get to Trapper's Bigfoot cave and just go screen by screen because the stuff goes by real quick. They just like shot. There's so much set decorating. There's so much comedy. We could do a separate podcast, a weekly show just about another thing we discovered in a screen grab. The company Slack, when I watched this episode, I just uploading shot after shot after shot of this Bigfoot, his Bigfoot bat cave.
It's so good.
Wonderful.
I mean, they should update it. Obviously, it's such a good place to hide jokes and Easter eggs. You could build on the thank you card, another thank you card, like an RSVP to a wedding.
Add
you can tell a whole
some
story.
little clip art to it to imply there's something about balloons, something about what is he getting thanked for? Why is there tiramisu on there? I don't understand it. I wrote down that Buck is carrying everyone's password. Like Jeff said, they have all my computer passwords. And then Buck's like, I'm going to take all these packets and show everybody in the morning. So they've left all of this personal information with Buck overnight. Like he knows how to log in everybody's machines. He knows that Wild Bill searches for hairy pogs falling from tree. He knows too much. I don't think you should trust him with this.
All of Jeff's Bitcoin keys to all of his crypto wallets he's got.
Oh no, he can sign on and humiliate Jeff further somehow. Good fucking luck, buddy.
Jeff definitely bought some apes.
So this is the Trap guy's first time seeing the bunker. Last time it was just the three of them. Now the entire crew it sees it, and Wild Bill's like, "Why you got down here, a bunker?" For one thing, they keep claiming it's underground. They keep saying what do you get down here? For some reason, in the fiction, they're calling it a basement, but it's not. It's
a shed.
It's just a building he's converted into this set, but it is very much you go in a door and then another door. There's no stairs. There's no illusion of stairs or implication. They don't try to fake that. They just keep saying we're down here because they thought they could CGI in a sequence of them going downstairs or something. And then Trapper says, well, we had to have a place that was completely secure. Anything we say in here stays in here. He says to the camera crew.
Right.
On the TV show we're watching.
Which does not exist anymore. It can't.
I love it.
It can't.
There's a thing that cracked me up here because their lives are in danger. All their family secrets, their finances are in danger. And Buck still opens by saying, you can tell that the Cherokee Devil is still in them woods. Before he gets to the men stalking them, it sure was Bigfooty out there in North Carolina. Nothing specific, just a vibe, just a Sasquatchy vibe. Anyway, now we can move on to the non-emergency information about how
because the one question they are never going to ask, which is the obvious question, which is, why do they care who we are? We're just a bunch of dudes shooting this totally inconsequential TV show. Why? Who are these weirdos? Are they perverts? Why they have all this stuff, but all the stuff they have is totally unremarkable. I was in a car accident 8 years ago. Who cares?
At one point he says they've got my credit report. That costs $30, man. A lot of people have.
I have a truck loan and some old student loan debt from when I got my master's degree. All those years ago at MIT. They've got that. At no point they're like, who are these freaks? It's always just assumed no, they're. It's like discovering Bruce Wayne's identity. It's like these people are onto us. They are. They automatically start talking about they have this operation that, well, of course these rivals would want to know how we work. Think about what we've done. Just try to list all of the amazing things we've done.
I had a theory on this. If you were a Bigfoot hunting crew, right? I think that the hardest thing is getting to Bigfoot, right? Like killing him is pretty hard, but finding him is another thing. This is a group of guys who just so happen to find Bigfoot every time they get out of their golf cart. So if you follow them, you know where Bigfoot is. And so I'm on board with that. I think that works in the fiction they've created. That
is what they say, but it's also the tacit implication then is that the rogue team has been watching this show and gets so frustrated at the end of every episode where they're like, he's still there. Go after, he's still there. Don't give up. Go after him.
Do you understand?
Right.
If he threw a tree at you that landed at your feet, he's 5 feet away.
Just go get him. And they got so pissed off about it that they're like, okay, well, we're going to follow these guys and fucking kill Bigfoot then. And they did.
They did.
Their first try, their first time out. They got the Stonish Giant.
I'm imagining the rogue team watching the previous episode of this finale where they built the trap for the rogue team where it's just a box full of cameras. I imagine them saying, yes, make that for Bigfoot. Just surround it with cameras so you've got evidence of Bigfoot in Appalachia. That should be your trap, not for us. Do a Bigfoot version of that. Cameras surround it, just outside, inside, cameras everywhere. You lure it in, get tons of photos and video. Why are you doing it this way?
That's their motivation. These motherfuckers are stumbling on Bigfoot every goddamn week, but they can't close the deal. We need to get out there. We need to be closers.
So now that does not necessarily explain why they assembled these dossiers on everybody. Because, for instance, now the trap team is there, and so Wild Bill and Willie they each get their own envelope and say, hey, we found this in the Cherokee Devil's whack shack. And Willie opens his, and the first thing he gets is like a full color photo of him making out with a hot babe.
That's the note I'd give producers. I'm like, I just want all of mine to be sex photos. Just a thick envelope of sex photos.
And then Wild Bill's like, Marine Corps records, bank accounts, all my doctor reports. And I'm imagining all three categories of those of just being like documents that someone has vomited on, where it's like a doctor just looked at it and just fainted.
So they all get their dossiers and they get their bullseye cards. They each get one. They go through a few of them. Wild Bill's is an S with 1 star. Willie's is a 6 with a Y. It's all just letters with numbers assigned to them. And Trapper lays them all out, and they all just stare at them for a moment. And you see them, you see gears turning, and finally, Huckleberry has it. He goes, that's it. Them letters, they mean something.
It's like the 5th time someone has said those exact words, too.
I want to apologize for something I said several episodes ago, because I described when they arrived at the Bigfoot burial ground and they each went around the horn speculating as to what they thought they were looking at, and they had 6 different increasingly stupid theories, and I described that as the 9/11 of improv. That was like that among improv people remembered that event as like the darkest day in their history, and I realized that wasn't appropriate to say, because what is about to ensue is the 9/11 of improv, and actually makes that look pretty good, because this is going to last for, I didn't check the timestamp on this episode, I think 7.5 hours. They're going to try to arrange these 6 letters into a word. And spoiler, they're going to do it wrong at the end. They don't have 6 yet, right? They've only got 4 so far, or
They've got the 6 they need. They decide they need more, but it's literally the whole team. So they start laying them out, right? And then they start to have a fight. Jeff starts needling Buck, you got a B for Buck, write it down, Buck. You got a T for Trapper. Come on, pay attention. Meanwhile, Buck is like, shut up. He's trying to do a beautiful mind thing. I'm trying to it's all coming together. All the numbers are floating over my, can you guys CGI numbers over? No. Can we write them? No. All right. Well, I'm just going to do the faces, I'm thinking up a bunch of numbers. And then they have a falling out because like they agree neither one of us is smart enough to solve this 5-letter anagram.
It is.
The whole team is being destroyed by a wordle.
And because Buck screams at Jeff, "Do you want a piece of paper and a pen to do it yourself?"
Yes.
He phrases it like, "Do you want me to kick your ass?" But the words he's using are very reasonable. Like, yeah, we should all have a pen. We should all be trying it. Like, it's 5 letters. If we each made one guess, somebody would have the right answer. And instead, those are like fighting words. And because they have decided to stage like a reality show argument. Then Jeff's like, "Well, Buck, I think it's bullshit because I don't think you understand what's going on." And yeah, at one point, Jeff wads up a piece of paper and throws it at Buck.
The most ineffectual little attack.
And he stands up in a rage, like, "Don't start your bleep with me, Jeff. Shirley, don't start your cum with me."
Don't start your cum
And
with
the
me.
whole time that Buck is flying into rage, over his shoulder is that photo of William Henry Harrison. And you just imagine like a tear running down his cheek, like, I did not die for this. For you people to act like
I didn't
this.
fucking spend 30 days as president to watch you assholes fight about your boggle game.
Get murdered
on,
in the
fellas.
White House by a Sasquatch that had to be
Right.
covered up for the next century.
Yeah.
Or he's like
You
the
got lured
mastermind.
here by a group of men who did $20,000 worth of background checks to get you here to play this escape room together.
He's
Can't even be
back there
friends.
like using his William Henry Harrison powers to like turn the whole team against each other. Just wop, 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 wop. Yes, fight, my fools.
But we go to an ad break. We come back from the ad break, replay the entire argument that I will confess, I fast forwarded through it this time. It is a little hard to watch. At the end of the argument, Jeff improvises, "Well, those numbers could be GPS coordinates.
GPS coordinates.
Those 5 digits."
Yeah, you know how that works now, huh?
Yeah.
The number from space.
I like how everyone just ignores them. Like, no one even says, like, "No, there's not enough numbers, Jeff." They're just like, "What the fuck, pee-pee boy." They find some more pictures, and one of them is a screenshot from their nationally televised TV show where
Cool,
Huckleberry's holding his hand up by a window to measure the wild man's height. And they scream, "How'd they get that?" But literally, the only place that photo exists, like, is their TV show. So
literally framed up as a screen grab from the
show.
TV show. Like it's literally, it is
maybe they
kind of one of the weirdest moments I've ever seen in a show, because it's clearly a famous moment because it was a key. It was not like they had a behind the scenes shot from when they were shooting that episode. It's not like they had them getting ready in the truck, like all of them nude, putting on their Ames team gear. It was a key moment in the episode when he went out to measure himself by the window, the way that, you measure everything by a huckleberry and how high his hand goes. And they're like, they were in the woods with us. Because
that's how that Discovery Channel logo got on there.
The shot is literally from their camera. It was Zach who shot that, a man who has shown up in the show. When you first discovered the Rogue Team, it's because you went to Zach, the cameraman, because Colt Strom said, "Hey, Zach captured these other guys in the background while we were shooting the show Mountain Monsters. There's somebody out here in the woods with us." So in the Rogue Team story arc, the producer and the cameraman is a character in this story arc that they are completing. They only know about the Rogue Team because their cameraman shooting the TV show they're making captured them in the background of the show. And now they're like, who was recording this video? It makes no sense. There was someone else in the woods out there other than us hunters who, as you know, viewers, it's always just us out there alone. It's so weird that nobody in the room, including the crew, stopped and said, "Well, now hold on. We should use a different visual if we want the creepy, like, oh, somebody was out there with us."
Right.
Like, it should be something from a distance, right? Like, we're out here shooting the show. Here's Colt Straub. Here's the camera people. But here's somebody else recording that. But it's like, well, yeah, but we don't have that. And we certainly can't go out in the woods and recreate it. We couldn't have you stand together and.
My theory is that when he said how'd they get that, he meant like a grandpa might ask it. Like, do you print screen? Do you need like a Chrome plug-in? How do you get the picture from one thing onto the other?
Nobody has Destination America.
That's true.
I've seen our ratings. That nobody watches us.
What
I've streamed
kind
it
of
on
a
Max.
sick
You can't
bastard.
take screenshots.
Maybe
You
they're
get the
coming
black.
they're coming to Zach and being like, "Have you been keeping the recordings you make of us?
You fucking pervert.
Have you been doing something with those? Have you been showing people those? That's not what this is for. Is that what those people meant by I've seen your show? I thought they meant our live show. Like the play that we people are watching.
Oh,
this.
shit. Oh, I got a lot to think about.
Oh my god, I gotta call my lawyer. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Oh, I'm gonna be sick.
They flash back to the window, because on the other side of that window that Huckleberry put his hand up, the wild man stuck his face to that window, and Buck
Bigfoot
tried
mask.
to kill him. And
Well, actually, Buck let out a very girlish scream in response to seeing the wild man put his face up to the glass. And the editors are going to have a lot of fun inserting that every time they reference that photo. Buck went, over and over again. It's very funny.
So they determine this must mean the rogue team wants them to go back to that shed. All these pictures of the shed, back to the Wildman shed. Obviously, they're being hunted by these people that have way more information and the advantage. There's one thing they absolutely cannot do. They decide to go back to the Wildman shed.
Yeah, I don't know if we skipped over it. They eventually decided that the 6 cards spelled out the words "shot by."
They're going to discover that you can rearrange the letters to make a word. They come to this after what feels like 45 minutes of arguing over 5 letters, where like a Denny's placemat wouldn't go with this. You would get like that in a grid of 5 other letters. Like you don't just get the one.
if you could keep a 4-year-old this busy this long, that's a miracle.
The one letter, the one scramble, that doesn't keep a toddler busy until the egg.
Nope.
So the moon's over my hammy. Get there, like you need
true.
several words. Jesus Christ, it was incredible. They're trying to beautiful mind it, and they determined it says shot by, and then Buck is like, okay, that means we're gonna find out who the Bigfoot was shot by.
There was a moment here where I also thought the show was genius. Turned out it's not, but I thought that when they showed the wild man come up to the window, that they were going to hint that the rogue team was responsible for like a whole bunch of hoaxes. Like that was a fake Bigfoot head on a stick. And I thought that's the direction they were going. And, cause it would explain a lot if like these guys were just pranksters following them around faking these sightings. It wouldn't explain Hogzilla, who is real. He is a handed super pig, and I'm sure of it. But like all the other sightings would.
That would be the most amazing show if like just every single episode was like, somebody's been punking us this whole time.
Yep. They just keep flashing back. There's like a guy with like 50 pterodactyl puppets.
Getting revenge. They were just drones because they don't know the drones. They don't know the GPS exists.
Yeah, they
so
would
this
have
is
no
like,
idea what a drone is. It
this
would
is
take
like
30 minutes
waging-
just to explain the concept.
It's like waging war on somebody from the 1970s with modern day technology. Like, how is he doing this? You would never believe it.
If you drove up to Buck's secret farm, he would throw a spear at your mysterious vehicle.
But they're going to try to like reclaim some kind of initiative here because Trapper's going to be like, now you go to Eastern Kentucky and you come back with more cards. It's going to tell us, who these people, because they think there's a confession, this who shot the Stonish Giant. And it's like, we're going to stalk these people the way they stalked us. And we're going to strike fear into their goddamn hearts. As if they're not simply following the thing they told them to do.
You're going to collect their cards. You just said you were collecting the cards they have left for you.
They are leaving there for you. You're not doing this against their will. They are.
I love this episode so much.
It's like someone in a Saw movie waking up, hanging out in the face bear trap for a few hours, and then saying, guys, I've got it. This is a face bear trap. Now it's time to turn the tables on whoever put us in this thing. It's so frustrating. Because it's the same shit he says every time they get their ass kicked by a monster. They're like, well, that thing knows not to come around here no more.
We inconvenienced it severely.
And that's something
it was briefly in a box.
That's something they did twice this in last episode, where they established, the Grassman's still here attacking people. Oh, you can definitely tell the Cherokee Devil's still here. So all those times you're like, oh, he's not coming back here again. He came right back. They came right. It did not work. It did not scare off shit. Anyway, now they got to go collect all of the collectible cards of the rogue team, which is their sinister mission now.
But first, they've got to check in on the trap team.
Yep.
Who has
the trap check.
An entire 2-episode arc to finish building this special trap.
And what is it?
It is. It's a rustic box with holes.
A crappy wooden box that they've drilled holes in and literally taped some cheap trail cameras to. Willie says, and this is probably the entire show summarized in one sentence, well, I rigged this up to look like an old crate. Do you know how he accomplished that?
It's an old crate?
By finding an old crate.
Finding an old crate.
And drilling 3 holes into it. And then taping the cheapest cameras he could find to it onto it to put in the bed of a truck that already has production quality digital cameras stuck to every side of it.
And when
you can see the make and model of the camera, it is a hole that is so big you can see so much of the camera.
That's not hidden. It's not hidden at all. But Buck, once they load it in, Buck turns in, it goes to a testimonial, and he says, Willie's camera box fits perfectly inside of my truck. What if it didn't?
Right.
It was the only factor. It's the only thing he had to do was find a box that fits in your truck. What if it didn't fit in the truck? And it had to stick out over the side. What would you have fucking said then? There's only one thing that could go wrong, and it was the size of the box that was up to Willie. Willie's been demoted so fucking hard.
He could use a tape measure. That's pretty good.
My job is to build a box. Okay, that's fine. I don't even build the box anymore. I just got to find a box that will fit in your truck. Okay. Okay. We got to find me a new job, by the way. At this point, I'll take Pee-Pee Boy. I'll take assistant understudy to the Pee-Pee Boy. Because this is fucking embarrassing. So they do. They load up this tri-glory hold Bigfoot glory hole box into Buck's truck, and they head out for eastern Kentucky to proudly walk into a trap, hoping to solve this round of Bigfoot boggle.
Huckleberry is loading up both of his assault rifles, literally saying, this could very well be an ambush site. Again, he's elevated this to a shooting war.
They want you to solve a word puzzle.
They they're going there for collectible cards. They've decided the rest of the cards are on this ambush site. And I guess they need to kill their way to them.
He's just gone gun insane. Buck has to bring this all down. He says, okay, now everybody here, you got to remember the stakes. My truck. These guys hate my truck. So the plan is, we're going to go over to that tool shed where they want us to go to try to find these cards. While Willie, Wild Bill, you guys are going to stay here and protect my truck.
Yes. Where they want the bad guys to come to the truck and get their photos taken. They're like, let's put the noisiest member of our team right next to the truck.
The guy that does
for the stealth mission.
The guy that does chainsaw riffing. His specialty is chainsaw riffing. Let's put him on the stealth mission.
What's crazy is the Wildman is still in the mix. The Wildman's still there. They remind us, hey, Wildman's still here. This could be the time they actually get proof of Bigfoot in Appalachia. They've made a photo trap, like Jason has been telling them to do for 20 episodes. And they're parking it where Wildman lives.
It's 19 minutes into the episode when Buck says, now, keep in mind that Kentucky Wildman is probably still around here because somebody, before they turned the camera on, said, hey, look, we know Bigfoot is not in this episode, but if you have to verbally say the word Bigfoot, or we're in violation of our contract with the production company, because we did pitch them a Bigfoot hunting show. So one, obviously very funny that they have to verbally acknowledge that, well, now, Wildman vicinity. But 2, again, emphasizes that in this universe, even if they are not actively hunting Bigfoot, no trap, no bait, no plan, no scouting, no witness, no trails, no nothing, still could get attacked by the wild man at any second because that's their lives. They're not Bigfoot hunters. Like, they're Bigfoot magnets. Like, look, in the course of us walking from my truck to that building, there's a real good chance we could get attacked by a Bigfoot. Doing nothing to attract it, it doesn't matter. Just our presence here.
Do you think it's because they've been pissed on by Big Feet so many times that, like, it's just the smell? Like, you can't fully wash out all the pheromones after, like, the 30th time a Bigfoot just hoses you down.
Well, we know they're attracted to cooking bacon and, like, what... I mean, the
Jeff's ham
pocket ham is gotta be real warm.
Huckleberry even tries to get a trailer line and says, "They say this is wild man country. Well, why do you say we go get wild?"
Always trying to get that. He's really marketing that
God
Huckleberry brand. He's so aware. He's like, I gotta be the guy. I'm the face.
Fucking rut.
But I don't think they included that in the sizzle reel because, like, no, we can't. It's too misleading. We can't
Because
imply.
you don't. Well, first of all, there is no wild men here. Second of all, I will argue you do not get wild, sir. Like, legally, I don't think we can say you get wild. There's still advertising standards in this country. So they head out to the Wildsman's shack. Well, Willie and Wild Bill make sure nobody hurts Buck's truck.
Yeah, they literally, the drama on their end is they're trying to find a place to hide so they can oversee the truck from a safe location. That's the tension of their end of the.
And they have a camera guy and a sound guy with them, which again, I don't think we're supposed to know in this new fiction. And they decide on grass. They decide on like 2 feet of grass to hide. Not a great spot.
So Buck's team is over by the shed. They find tire tracks by the shed, and that they know that means the rogue team has been there, and not, say, the owner of this shed. Again, it's
the rogue team operates on Bigfoot rules. If you see anything that could be anything, it's them.
And there's a moment where Buck says, "I'll tell you one thing that's changed. There's a padlock on that door." So you think, oh, okay, so now they've got to try to find a key or something. He's like, oh, no, it's unlocked. He just takes it off.
Yeah, it's unlocked.
So it wasn't, I didn't say it was a big change, but I'm just observing my environment, noting the clues that somebody tried to lock this and then didn't care.
Forgot.
Ultimately.
Didn't know how locks worked. That happens.
You know what? It's fine if it just keeps the door closed. If the wind stops blowing it open, it's all I'm really going for. So they decide that means the rogue team might be inside and have somehow reinserted the lock after themselves. I don't know why that means they'd be inside, but they do breach this space and clear corners. It's an 8x10 shed. So, like, you guys are standing outside with full lights and a camera crew speaking at normal volume. Imagine if you took somebody by surprise in that shed.
And also, the way they stage it, I know Sean's about to say this, but like Buck goes through the door first with Huckleberry behind him, and it's like, I'm covering you, Buck, but just the physics of it, Buck fills the doorway. Okay. It's
right.
not. I mean, it's just.
I do have that in my notes. Yeah,
they're trying to stage it like a SWAT team thing, where they like each guy goes in and they're like very professional, but it's not a large, voluminous space, and they're kind of like squeezing in, and it looks
right.
It's comical to some degree how it plays out.
Well, Huckleberry's plan, it's to point his gun right at the back of Buck's head, and if there are enemies, Buck drops down, and then he shoots where Buck's head used to be. I don't think that's how they teach you in the SWAT training. Also, as Jason mentioned, the whitest member gently opening the main entrance with their hand and then waiting in the doorway and slowly looking around. It's not the best way to breach. I think we've all seen a breach in a movie or a video game.
It's because the only way Huckleberry knows how to cover, every time they tell Huckleberry cover me, what he does is point his gun at them. That's what he thinks covering is. And that's exactly what he does to Buck. He points his gun at them, and the plan is, you get out of the way. I'm pointing my gun at you, and you just get out of the way real quick, and then I'll shoot where you just were, because that's my muscle memory, is to shoot at you, specifically. And we got to work with that. So you got to get in front of the guy and then drop, and then I can shoot the guy. Otherwise it's aim assist. It's going to snap right down to your head.
That's true. Jeff has the same plan. He has his pistol out. His finger is desperately on the trigger. Like he is trying so hard to shoot this gun. And then he's just waving it at Buck and Huckleberry's heads. Oh.
Slippery with ham juices.
Team.
just waiting to go off. So they're inside and Buck finds a modest, I want to say $15 knife stuck into a stump there. And he's like, okay, rogue team, this is my knife now. That doesn't go any. There's no clue pinned by the knife. He just takes their knife.
And acts like, because it's supposed to be there like they were intimidating them. Like there's a knife stuck in there. Like, hey, and he's like, well, I've got your knife. Like he stole it. Like, no, they left that there for you. You understand? Right.
The game's up. I got a free $8 truck stop knife.
Well, okay, we know from the other rogue team that when Ernie did this is what people do when a Bigfoot's hunting them. They write, something is stalking me, and they stick it to a tree with a knife. This didn't even have a note. So that means the wild man is so deadly, he didn't have a time to leave the note with the knife. It's just the Bigfoot hunting me signal with no note.
Yeah, the knife was there, which is the last thing a hunter leaves, but the gun was gone, which proves that the hunter was alive, because that's the last thing a hunter leaves.
You remember the rules. Yeah,
I remember.
They were well established.
They send Jeff up to check the loft with his ham pocket shotgun revolver, and the first difficulty is Jeff climbing stairs. It doesn't go well. They said the least able to climb stairs guy. There's genuine drama here on whether or not Jeff can climb the next stair.
And there's somebody says, well, keep your gun up, because he obviously needs both of his hands to like try to get up there. He's really struggling. And again, the idea that if they were up there waiting with their guns, that they would not just be able to shoot. This elderly man takes 2 consecutive minutes just to mount those stairs. And just like grunting, like,
You must have like a good 45 seconds where just Jeff's little Smurf hat is bobbing just in view. He's just like, okay, well, I'm going to shoot it right there as soon as that's in view. Like, I know
think there's 4 like armed men up there that they're not going to, he's going to get the drop on them somehow. It's very funny. All of this is much funnier than what they could intentionally
I'm just going to aim for the pom-pom. Like it feels like a target right there. So they finally find this dartboard, a brand new and spotless dartboard, in here, like it's been installed just for them.
I'm sorry, but we criticized this team for missing obvious clues. You missed the most important thing that happens in this entire episode. Jeff says, well, guys, this looks kind of weird over here. You see this wood stacked up? And then in mid-word, Buck cuts him off and says, hey, guys, it's stuck here to this dartboard. They told Jeff the cards were under the stack of logs and that he was going to get his moment to discover them.
You're right.
He went over there, started lifting them up, and then Buck went right over to the dartboard and said, oh, no, they're over here.
He got pee-pee Boyd.
Yeah, classic. He started to love it. Oh, you know I love it when you get me. A little came out.
He recovers, though, because Buck finds some cards, and Jeff's idea is, let's lay those out. They gotta spell something. So I was like, yeah, that's why he's the researcher, the keen mind.
Buck finds them on the dartboard, and they're stuck in the dartboard with the dart and the bullseye, and he pulls it out and he goes, the bullseye, huh? Like as though that means... oh, that's extra deadly. They're really serious. If they hit a bullseye, they put those cards up there and they hit a bullseye from regulation distance. It's incredible.
It's one of the top 7 coolest places on a dartboard.
But when he realizes they're cards, Buck says, and I quote, yeah, more cards.
He fucking loves this shit. Let's puzzle, guys.
They never anticipated
the world's worst boggle players get to work decoding 3 more letters.
It's the difficulty that I love. I love how hard the puzzles are.
It legitimately like stressed me out that they now had 5 more cards, and there's this moment where Buck like lays them out on that stump. It's like, all right, let's buckle in for another 2 consecutive hours of trying to rearrange these 5 cards. And the fact when they got interrupted by this at a moment, I was physically relieved. I am not kidding.
Thank God.
Watch them try to solve another Wordle. No, they're interrupted because Huckleberry spots lights all around them. They're vehicles. And so Buck tells Jeff, run to shut that door that can't even be held shut with that padlock anymore. He is fully
panicked.
Yeah, it is now the second time they've all, as a team, stumbled into this shed and realized, my God, it was the perfect trap the whole time. A box just for them.
Buck says, they come through that door, it's going to be game on. And they are pointing again at an assault rifle and a shotgun pistol at that door. And again, this is, as Sean pointed out, in response to basically a fraternity prank. They've just followed some cryptic letters to get there. They've not been shot at any point, right?
Right now, the stakes are, once again, another word puzzle. And they're ready to murder. They're like, fucking how dare these guys give us 2 word puzzles.
Yeah, anybody comes through that door, we are going to fill their bodies with bullets.
I like that both times they've had 2 chances now to realize we should have had somebody outside watching the shed. Because this is exactly what happened in the Wildman episode. The whole team piled in there and got too excited, and then Bigfoot had them cornered in the shed, and they were like, my God, he got us. They did the same thing for the Rogue team, and the Rogue team did the same thing, and they never learned. They will never learn.
But what they do now, of course, is something has happened, so they call off the plan. They call the other team, they're like, get over here right now.
Well, Buck spells out on the radio, they've got a plan to overcome this because they're being surrounded by like 5 vehicles. It looks like they've got because they've established there's only 4 members of the Rogue team. So I actually am not sure how they pulled it off, but he's like, we will stay in here. You approach from the other side, and then we will get you. We will have them in between the 2 parts of our team.
You're not making any sense. I can't understand what you're talking about. You're talking like a pincer?
They abandoned their primary mission, which was save my truck. Guys, things have gotten real. I know you're going to hate to do it. You're going to have to leave my truck to fend for itself. If somebody vandalizes it, God, we're all just going to have to deal with that loss.
I was wondering, are they going to murder 5 people in front of a camera crew? I guess is what was concerning to me. And I can say that about either the Intruders or the Ames team. Like, is somebody's plan to get together in front of this camera crew and just murder a bunch of people over, I'm going to say nothing. I mean, it's not nothing. One of them did give someone some puzzles.
Right. See, that's the thing. This is kind of fundamental to drama, but what is this dispute over?
Well, I think it's like in if you've ever played a really truly open world game, it's kind of like in Fallout when like somebody gives you a quest you don't want to do, you can just kill them.
I might consider that if I was playing Fallout and someone handed me 4 cards and said rearrange these letters, I would kill that NPC. Absolutely. I would pickpocket and fill his inventory with landmines and step back.
What do I get from this? Another word puzzle. Yeah, I'm killing that guy.
No, yeah, you're dead.
So Buck
don't care if there's an achievement associated with it. That guy's dead.
Buck has a plan. Buck knows it's best if they all turn their own lights on to make themselves a better target, and then he's gonna just send Huckleberry out the door first to Butch Cassidy and Sundance this shit.
That's right. It's literally that. We're gonna go out guns blazing. We are gonna go down. We're gonna take as many of them with us as we can.
Certainly going to die Huckleberry first. That's the first and only instinct. And they do. They run out there, and that really should have been it. It should have been Huckleberry running out that door screaming, cut straight to credits, end of the whole series. That's just how it ends. You're like, God damn, they died how they lived, They really took that
With
stand.
no idea what's going on.
No idea. And
In
needlessly.
memory of Huckleberry's real name, and then, oh my god, how did they know his real name under that?
Oh, they run out to find all the cars are abandoned. The rogue team had taken the Ames team's cars. It's their own cars that they took, drove them all the way up here, and then parked them around the shed and just took off giggling into the woods like merry little pranksters.
Yes, it's Jeff's box truck. Remember that? It's Wild
Yep.
Bill's cop car.
It's Easter eggs. They're all
These are
Easter eggs
Easter
from the
eggs.
show. They're just fans, and they're playing a fun
We're
little
going-
prank.
We're going so fast. It takes them at least 10 minutes to figure out these are their cars.
It's weird because they like clear each vehicle and like, there's nobody in here. It's like, wait a second. Bill, isn't that your cop car? It's like, well, that's Jeff's box truck that we did a whole truck goofing whole episode where the opening was just us truck goofing for a
Yeah.
while. And they actually do this thing where they suspect, well, maybe they've all enclosed themselves in the back of Jeff's truck. And so they all position themselves with their guns and they open the doors like, oh no, they're not back here either.
They do
And
the same
then-
thing again. I'm sorry to interrupt, but they do the same thing where they point the guns at the back of Jeff's head, and the plan is for him to duck if there's people in there.
And then the penny drops, and with horror, there's like this gut punch moment where Buck is like, guys, my truck isn't here. You left my truck unattended. The only thing we were here to do was to protect my truck from these people who hate my truck. And it's now out there alone, and they have to run out there toward his truck. This is the climax of this episode.
It's somehow less stakes than all the golden delicious apples in the county. Like, I don't know how you manage lighter stakes than a bunch of apples, but whether or not they vandalize Buck's truck is like... At one point, the Thunder Brothers were going to destroy the world.
Yeah, it's such a step down. What's great also is they still think they're in a gunfight. Like, they're still, like, ready to fucking murder these people, despite this obviously being, like, Funbusters, Virginia's premier puzzle and live-action role-playing firm. Like, they're just... someone just bought them a weekend of fun puzzle games.
It's a rival high school football team from the neighboring town. It's like, oh, they drove all of our cars out here and left the headlights on. And
Yeah, they stole our pit bull mascot, and in return, we're going to fucking murder them. We're gonna blow them all apart, pit bull included, with our shotguns. Because goddamn, they will never get away with this. Like, all they've done is the lightest, gentlest pranks. Like, I would love these guys. I would be like, I can't wait to meet them, because then we're gonna be best friends.
So they get out to Buck's truck, and here's where the Ames team, which has looked like fools for 2 straight episodes in their own season finale of their own show that they came up with, but the other guys, the rogue team, fell right into their trap because they did not realize that Willie's shabby wooden box had 4 very cheap cameras that in no way can capture images at night, and they've got him. They have got him. They realize,
yes.
hey, we've got pictures of these guys.
Mm-hmm. They're going to know these men's blurry shapes. And then...
Well, the first photo is just, it's a guy's shoulder as he was walking past a box. So even in staging their own show, could not get an entire guy in frame. A guy who works for them. And then they get the money shot because they get a shot inside the cab of Buck's truck. And there is a moment when my heart leapt with joy because the guy has a mask and Wild Bill says, hey, he looks like a ninja. And I thought, oh my God,
Yes.
they're ninjas.
Yes.
It's going to be the Ames team versus ninjas from here on out. And then realize I don't think that's what.
It could still be. You don't know. That picture was real blurry. Keep hope alive.
It is about time. If this was an 80s show, they would have had a ninja episode by now.
Yeah.
And these guys grew up with that same television. They have ninja instincts.
I'm gonna assume these are ninjas. Like, they're merry prankster ninjas. That's an 80s thing. So yes, they've they got their cunning mask trap, but they've been thwarted because they didn't realize. I will give them credit. They were looking and thinking like, okay, nothing's amiss here, nothing's awry, because this motherfucker is always traveling with a box. He's always got some big shitty box somewhere. Totally checks out that this is a big shitty box. I'm not going to look any closer at that. And that was like their downfall. Like they ultimately made the right move here. Now they didn't get a meaningful shot. They got a blurry shot of somebody that I'm going to say having the camera in the cab pointing at the back of the seats was not a great call, because you would have just gotten the back of his head anyway, even if he hadn't been wearing the mask.
Brockway, you fool. See, again, you keep underestimating these guys, and it's actually troubling to me because they captured a key piece of evidence. In that photo, they saw that the guy had a tracker that he was going to put on Buck's truck. So for the first time, we learn, one, that these guys use trackers, and two, that they're tracking Buck's truck. This is the thing we learned from this hour of television. This was the result of the trap they built. Was they
have a
learned,
picture of the shoulder, picture of the masked face.
so they know it's a person.
They know it's a
didn't
person.
know that before. It's a person.
Sure, that's new.
And
It's a victory. In a lot of ways, it's a victory. In a lot of ways, they proved Bigfoot exists in these Appalachian mountains.
but again, now granted, to do what they did require them to already know where the truck was and to have already been tracking it. But now they're doing it even harder than before.
Yeah.
And that's what they learned from Willie's trap. It was a total success. To suggest otherwise is to go against the spirit of this show.
Plus, it's not over, because what's that? Something is interrupting all of this. It's a call coming from Buck's truck. Buck runs in there and he finds a phone, but it's not his phone. However, the call is coming from Trapper's ID, but it's not Trapper. It's looping audio of their reactions the first time they saw the rogue team taking the Stonish Giant away. And it's them saying, "That's that Bigfoot body. What is there, 4 of them?" Only over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Until
Now,
it starts to sound like a club remix. That's that Bigfoot body. What is there, 4 of them? That's
I know
that
you made it,
Bigfoot
Brockway.
body.
Hit it.
What is there,
Hit
4
that
of them?
song you made.
That's that Bigfoot body. What is there, 4 of them? Like, yeah, it's a bit much.
And one of them says, for the rogue team to get our voices, they had to have been bugging us when we were out in the woods that day.
You had a sound guy. You know his name. It
It
was
is a
Pablo.
clip from the show. When they show the moment to remind us when they said that, they do it by replaying a clip from the show. Like the audio that the rogue team has, it's a clip from the show recorded by Pablo the Sound Man, as Brockway just said, a character in the show.
We've met him. We've shaken his hand. We know his name.
So here's my other theory: is they say, "How'd they get that recording?" I think they also mean that in a grandpa way. Like they hold their phone up to the screen, or they download an MP4 and use GarageBand. Like, how did they get it?
And there's one more element to this, okay? There's a picture set to the contact on the phone, and it's the cards that they found in the building with the answer laid out for them because they were never going to get it. They were never going to get it on their own. The rogue team is like, are you serious? They still don't have, they were supposed to figure that out like on the stump. We thought they'd get it on the, no, all right, you got to just, you got to call them. You got to call them, give them the answer. And the answer, as they realized, was shot by Sequad. Shot by Sequad. And Buck figures Sequad. There are 4 of them. That's their name.
See, this team is good. This rogue team, they're good, but their one mistake is leaving a fun scavenger hunt for more cute puzzles. That's where they blew it.
All of this is amazing to the Ames team. Wild Bill says, I'll tell you, this team's got their ducks in a row, brother.
Hell yeah.
And Buck is like, they are well equipped, finely tuned, and they know exactly what they're doing.
we're
killing
no match for
Bigfoot
them.
is an art.
2-word puzzles.
And a true artist signs his work with a cross-country scavenger hunt. Like, that's how you know they're the best. Shot by Sea Quad. And you don't even know who's shot the Bigfoot until, of course, you've assembled all the cards from all the different sheds.
Of course, there were 2 elements to this puzzle. This baby's first puzzle. There was numbers and letters. So you're like, okay, well, now that you know the order of the letters, there must be an order to the numbers. No, they don't realize that. They pack up and they're like, no, we're going to need to go back to Trapper and to dissect what this could possibly mean. So they head back to the safety of the Bigfoot fort that they've built and explain what they found to Trapper. And Trapper's first thought, he says, are they trying to brag? Did they think they're better Bigfoot hunters than us?
Before that, they do the establishing shot where they all show up to Trapper's property, because they have to do this thing where Trapper's sitting on his deck and they all walk up this path in formation as the rest of the team. Guys, if you watched that back to back with earlier, it's clear they shot that consecutively. They're all wearing the exact same clothes because, again, the premise is they talked to Trapper, went up here to Eastern Kentucky, drove all the way back the next day, talked to Trapper, who's just sits on his porch like an NPC, and then went back to, well, that thing where they're coming back, you watch it, and there's all these voice lines like, man, sure am tired from that long drive. I wish I had some coffee. So it's clear they shot them walking up, did the thing. It's like, all right, go back to the end of the yard and then just walk back. And this time act like you've done a bunch of driving because this is going to be this is going to be for tomorrow.
You made it back from the trip.
Yeah, it's like, I see you're back from Kentucky, whatever. And they're all wearing the exact same clothes. Cause a person wouldn't wear the same shirt every time they do a show. So no, it's very funny because it's sound
off in the YouTube comments if we're wearing the same outfits as last episode.
But then they get up there and they start to say like what they found, like, hey, we've got even more of these cars, and Trapper's like, no. We don't want to get into detail until we get into our secure room. And then they take the camera crew from the deck into the Bigfoot cave to work out the puzzle.
Publish all of this on television. Anyway, he's so offended that they think they might be better Bigfoot hunters that he then assumes, yes, we were right, what we were thinking earlier, that this team, the Rogue team, is trying to use the Ames team, who are the best Bigfoot trackers in the world, but fucking can't seal the deal to save their lives. So they're using them to go follow them, but they're using all of their high-tech gadgetry, their GPS trackers, their cell phones, both impossibly high-tech items in the year 2016. So what we've got here is a higher-tech evil team trying to capitalize on the good old-fashioned know-how of the country folk team. We got a twister. Folks.
That's right.
This is a full
twister. Yeah, the evil tornado hunters, even including having the SUV with the tinted windows, the evil villain SUVs. But Buck says, like Buck puts it together, he's like, you're right, because you've got the best trackers, the best outdoorsmen. You got the best people in the business sitting right here. And I wish the editors were mean enough to then just have a montage of them falling down over and over again, including that one episode. I remember which one it was, where they all went pinwheeling down that hill one after another, and Buck's pants flying off.
It's just a supercut of them saying, well, we didn't get him this time. We didn't get him this time. Well, we didn't get him this time, but he, well, we didn't get him this time, but he might have learned something about fear. Like, just...
I would have probably cut to them saying, oh, this terrain's real rough. All the times they're walking across like a gentle field with nothing in it.
Guy's yard, Huckleberry's backyard.
Ended on Huckleberry going, this terrain don't be too bad, don't it? The one time. So we have set ourselves up to do a hillbilly twister, a hillbilly Bigfoot twister, and I could not be happier about any arrangement of words I've ever heard in my life. Trapper reminds us
underdog story.
That they've learned a whole bunch of things. They've learned that Bigfoot, every single thing they've learned has been progressive about Bigfoot. He's gotten smarter. They've learned he's smarter. He's done more things. He's used fire. He's used tools. He once drew a map of all the Bigfoot gondola routes they use to pole their way across Appalachia. And this turns into like an inspiring speech to actual piped in soundtrack driving techno bass Like, don't, we got to get ready for battle. Trapper's giving us the speech. And he cuts to Jeff like, we're ready, aren't we, Jeff? And Jeff says, we got buckets full of witnesses.
I don't even know what it means.
What a mistake to cut to
I can't
Jeff
keep
in the
up with
middle of the
hillbilly gay
inspiration.
slang. I don't know what that means.
What a instantly regretted, like, damn it, I shouldn't have cut to Jeff in the middle of that. Huckleberry would have said something fucking crazy. And,
Yep.
and Huckleberry does. Huckleberry has been silent this whole time, and Buck's like, you, Huckleberry, you got thinking eyes. You got thinking eyes on. You've been thinking about something. You tell me. And he's been staring at the word jumble the whole time, and he goes, don't ask me how I know this. It just popped into my head like a little BB. Just
Cute.
Popped into my head like a little BB that my brother shot me with.
It's the cutest way you could ever say that. It's adorable. And he thinks, in what I assume is a comedic callback to earlier when he said, the letters, I think they mean something. He says, the numbers, I think they mean something. It just occurred to him that the
so
second
fucking
element
funny.
of the puzzle might not be just a random bullshit.
And I already was suspicious that the solution was not squat. Like I was like, I don't know if they got that right. But then Huckleberry arranges it so it says S hot ciphers quad, and I don't think that's it either.
Well, he thinks Jason's dying. Go
I
ahead.
don't understand how this happened because he's going to rearrange. You got to understand when he started to rearrange the cards again, I got mad.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at the timeline, see how much, because I was so scared there's like 27 minutes left in the episode. It's like, well, now hold on. Are you sure we've got it's like, it's been 2 episodes. Do you understand, listeners? These episodes are not 15 minutes long. They are 45 minutes long with ads if you're watching a broadcast. This is an hour-long show. It is a 2-part episode. They spent 86% of that screen time rearranging these, wait, what is it, 8 cards, 9? It's like 9 cards.
It's
They have
11.
5. Yeah, it's okay, whatever. And he's like, well, now,
Scrabble
wait a
turn.
second. This is a phone number. And so they rearranged them again. And now they make the card spell Squatch Body.
They were wrong. The whole time C-Quad was nothing.
It's not called C-Quad then. All of that crap. Like
All of that.
The crew shot by C-Quad, that wasn't right. Guys, the previous 2 episodes of puzzle solving came to nothing. None of that was right.
I don't know.
Do you
I think
understand?
they were
Why
the
would
first
you do this in
10,000
your
players to
improv?
solve the Keebler prize hunt. They won a high-value coupon for the new mint fudge stripes with all that puzzle solving.
They saw. Okay, it's the funniest. I don't even know. I could not replicate the sound I made when Huckleberry says it's a phone number, and Buck starts rearranging the letters like beautiful minding it. Oh, it's all coming into place, and then the camera zooms out, and what it says is
Astronomy.
Squatch Body. My dogs ran in from the other room like, I think he's hurt. We gotta check this out.
Because you understand, the credits are rolling at this point. They've run out of show.
Yeah, they've run out.
Now, there's no part 3 of this episode.
They squeeze in
Somebody's
one
just
last awesome
panicking.
punchline, though. Did you even notice where they're reading? It's not a fake number, so they read off the phone number, and they get to the last 4 digits, and they beep them out. And then
Because they don't want people calling.
Buck says them out loud. It's like they
don't
don't beep them the second time, so it's just like this perfect little stupid button.
I
Oh,
can
love this
guarantee
show.
you. I can guarantee you that's a real number. I can guarantee you it is not affiliated with this show in any way. It's like a gas station or something. I can guarantee
you could call
you
it.
would be the first person to ever call and tell them that. Nobody is. They would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, people aren't bugging me constantly. This was on a TV show?
But I would love the idea. I think all 3 are saying the same thing, that they would like, it's a phone number. And they would dial the phone number that spells Squatch Body. It would just be some random person like, oh, no, that's not it.
Did you know your number spells Squatch Body? What the fuck?
Yes.
I'm not, and no, I'm not talking you off in the Bigfoot voice. I won't do it again. They never pay.
But no, it is a number that leads to, it is a phone number set up by the rogue team who's not called Sequad, even though one ad break ago, they ended with Buck looking at the camera saying, Sequad, how many of them? 4 quad.
When really he should have been saying Squatch Body.
He should have been saying Squatch Body this whole time. So anyway, it turns out this is correct. That this does spell out a phone number, and that the rogue team has apparently been sitting by the phone for like 4 days. I apologize. I know this makes for bad audio. I'm trying to say this while laughing too hard. I know that it's hard to understand what I'm saying. I'm trying not to.
I'm fucking crying. Again, this is the second time this Squatch Body bit has made me just straight up cry. Oh, God. So the voice, they call the number in a very modulated voice, answers, "Hello, Trapper. We've been waiting for you. Are you ready to make a deal?" It's so... Fuck yes, like worst case scenario, we're doing Hillbilly Saw. Best case scenario, we're doing Hillbilly Michael Douglas's The Game. Which, like, plus an evil twister, plus a hillbilly twister?
But most of it is the scene from Sneakers, the C-Tech astronomy scene from Sneakers. Like,
but so they cut to black on that, and the listeners out there are thinking, wow, I'm actually eager to see how this plays out. No, after that, the show went off the air for a solid year. When they pick up, I'm going to spoil it right now. The show is going to begin with them saying, well, we never did hear from that rogue team.
Amazing.
People waited 12 months from April 2016 to April of 2017 to see how that resolved. And again, they're going to come back to it. It's just that moment that cuts off. The next thing that happens is like, well, for the next year, we didn't really hear from these guys because they didn't get around to shooting the show again for that long.
There was another word puzzle. We did not solve it. It was probably supposed to be like a meeting point or their names or something. We spelled out Squatch Body again somehow. I'm actually starting to think that we weren't supposed to do that. Oh, Jesus Christ. That should, once again, the whole series should have ended with Huckleberry, Butch Cassidy and Son dancing it right out of that shed. And then if not then, it should have ended on them spelling out Squatch Body like fucking Citizen Kane. Just Squatch Body. End. And that's a David Lynch movie. Oh, God, what a great fucking episode. All right, that's it. Let's pick our favorite quotes. How about Jason first this time?
So the way they've scheduled this and planned that out, when they're getting that garbled voice message, the ominous message, it's actually playing out over the end credits because they saved this for the final seconds. They didn't even want credits to play after this. So at the exact moment they hear that voice, it cuts to like the horrified expressions of everybody in the room. And it's that exact moment you get the words at the bottom of the screen. No wildlife was hunted, trapped, or harmed in any way in the making of this program. And you know what? This time, that is truth in advertising.
Absolutely true. Yep.
They did not hunt anything in this episode.
They played a clip of Buck shooting at the wild man. I want to say 10 seconds after they were completely outraged at the idea of someone shooting a Bigfoot. Like Wild Bill had shouted, "They're hunting! You tried to kill that Bigfoot!" And then they played the clip of Buck just panicking and shooting a Bigfoot in the face.
You've personally tried to kill not only Bigfoot in general, but this specific Bigfoot.
Yes, this exact one.
That you're defending. I'll go next. My quote is actually after Huckleberry tries to get his teaser line, and he says, "Gentlemen, this is Wild Man country. What do you say we go get wild?" Wild Bill loves that so much. He gets way too excited, way too overstimulated, and he says, "Hell yeah, brother, that's my kind of talking." And then he hefts his shotgun, and he can't figure out how to cock it, and we just cut away before he ever gets that cock.
God, that's good.
Sean, what's yours?
Let's see. I took this late. They've already figured out the cards. They've already figured out the cards mean something. They already figured out the numbers mean something. And they laid out the cards, and I think this might be the second or third time they've done this. And Huckleberry says, "Them letters there, they mean something. We just gotta figure out the order or what they mean."
He's on it.
I think he's right. The whole time I was like, I bet those letters spell a word or words.
Yeah. Although I guess I will say that it's maybe the quote of the entire series, when this is all said and done, may just be Buck looking down at the table and screaming, "Squatch Body!"
Because you had to be a Bigfoot teacher, you had to open up your mouth. You had to be a Bigfoot teacher, all your friends were so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You had to have the white hot spotlight. You had to be a Bigfoot last night. Whoa, whoa.